Today I'm joined by Emily Harford, a mechanical engineer at the UK Atomic Energy Authority. Hi Emily, could you just explain a little bit about what you do there, please?
Hello Lucy. My new job title at the UKAEA is Principal Engineer for the Design Authority. But previously I was a mechanical design engineer for the department RACE, which is Remote Applications in Challenging Environments. My new role is primarily involved in supporting what we would be inclined to call quality assurance, but instead of making sure that we're signed up to the right ISO protocols and we have all the standards in our library, it's about enabling and supporting engineers across site in having a really good sense of conscientiousness and rigor in the kind of work they produce.
Brilliant. And I know that you are really keen on presentation skills and speaking skills. Can you explain a little bit about that and how you've trained yourself and how that's important in your work, please?
So presentation skills have been part of my job since I have had a job. In fact, part of my induction when working for a commercial aerospace company was spending 2 weeks on the factory floor and then presenting to the director of our division what we had found. So it's always been an expectation in an engineer's role. I think it's particularly important for design engineers because you are sent away with some requirements and you have to come back and explain what you've done and why you've done it. And if your customer or your client isn't happy, then ideally you want that to be because they haven't explained it right rather than they don't understand what you've done. I think my presentation skills have got me jobs. It was really important in my interview for my most recent job that I had a really good presentation. And even the theme on the presentation was about communication and making sure that what you said is what someone else understood. I've been working on these presentation skills all the way since university. But in my sort of mid-20s, my stepmother introduced me to an organisation called Toastmasters, which is all about being able to speak concisely, coherently, and in a way that is understood to a range of audiences, which is again important for engineers because we think we work only with engineers, but it doesn't take long before you find yourself in a room with someone from business development or HR or finance or even a scientific specialist from a different field who doesn't know what you mean by, say, FMECA, which is failure mode effects and criticality analysis. But even if you explain the acronym, they still don't know what you're talking about.
I found this particularly when I left university. I was completely under the impression that my reports would speak for themselves, that I just, here's the paperwork, there you go. And yeah, I really learnt quite quickly that that wasn't the case. So actually being able to explain what you mean in plain English for non-engineers is so important. Have you got any hints and tips you can share about that?
On having reports, I think it's important to make sure that when you write a report, you don't slip into comfortable jargon. Anytime you use an acronym, you need to define that acronym, and that needs to go in an acronym table. Like, it's simple things like that. But I have a habit of finding a word I really like that day and wanting to put it in a report. I can remember once thinking that I really wanted to write ephemeral in a report, which is difficult when it comes to engineering, but I try and limit my use of these multi-syllable words because we're all engineering specialists, we're not all language specialists. I think when it comes to verbal presentation or physical presentations, a lot of us use PowerPoint and similar presentations. I think if someone can read your PowerPoint and know what you were going to say, then your PowerPoint is not very good. Your PowerPoint should be an aid and perhaps a prompt for your memory. But if you could email out your PowerPoint to a group of people and they don't need you at all, they can just read it, then you might as well not turn up. I think that's the best thing, the best advice I can give. The best PowerPoints are those that are meaningless without the presenter.
Thank you very much, Emily.
Yeah, I'm very happy to help. You're welcome.